Today I'm going to talk a little bit about triggering. Trigger. And I ain't talking about a horse the Lone Ranger rode. Not talking about that trigger. The trigger I am talking about is when you go around somebody and they annoy you and you don't know why. Or they make you angry and you don't get it. They create some sort of dissonance in you. It's a two-parter. It's a two-sided coin. I hate to break it to you. Some days you will be the trigger. Some days you will be the triggy. It ain't a bad thing. It's just a thing. A thing that can be used as an instrument to do what we're, all intended to do is and see us how we really, really are. People put, I don't know, they put weird definitions on words, and genders and things like that. And then they put them in stone. And then if anybody, tries to chisel away that stone, they, God forbid, oh, what are you gonna stop tearing down my stone? It's supposed to stay like that. It's always been that way. When is that ever effective? It's always been like that. Because if things don't ever change, then okay. Triggering. I trigger people. People trigger me. Okay, so what am I talking about when I'm talking about triggering? Okay, let me give you an example. I will tell you a story about how I triggered somebody just because of my energetic field. I was in Sacramento playing pool with my friend Wendell. It was 1999. It was before Air Force. I think it was one of my MEPS trips I'd gone down before I went to the Air Force. The airfare. It's the Air Force. It's not the airfare. And so we were shooting pool, and in this pool hall, there's probably 12 tables, and maybe 3 rows of 4, maybe whatever. The fact is, I was playing pool, and about 3 tables away from me, a man was like in a shot, lined up with me, stops, looks at me like, because I'm just looking around, listening to music, and I'm always looking around my surroundings, being aware and stuff like that. And he like lines up his shot, and he just like, he looks at me and he like locks in, and he locked in on me, but I didn't lock in on him. Like I was familiar, I knew his presence, and I knew where he was in time and space, but I was not that aware until he stood up and pointed at me across the room and said, "You! I don't like you." And ironically, whenever the universe throws like peculiar dissonance at you, the support is always there. The good always negates the bad and cancels it, or it's always more than the bad. And so, I mean, at the table right next to me, the dude's like, there's a guy shooting pool with his buddy, and he's like, that guy's not going to bother you. I'm an undercover cop. Don't worry about it. But I mean, I have stories like that time and time again. I have a tendency to plant seeds, and sometimes people don't like the thoughts that grow from the seeds that I plant. And it's alright. You can't, not all things from seeds are good. Fucking canned spinach. Does that come from a seed? Spinach? Yeah, spinach seeds, but canned spinach. It's the worst thing in the world. So, triggering people. It's caused me to I've had to make an amends. I have lots of amends because sometimes I can take it too far. As long as I know that there is a line, some days I don't care. I'll cross it. I don't give whatever. But some days when my dimensions, I guess, floating a little bit higher, then I'll have to go back and make things right. That sucks. I hate doing that. Anyway, triggering. I just learned about it. I mean, I knew I always did this to people, like, because people just like, either people really respond well to me or they don't. It's not like, oh, Marge is all right. She's all right. It's not ever like that. There's no, like, either people like me or they don't. And I kind of feel, I'm kind of like that about other people too. And that's fine. There's enough people on the planet. Ain't everybody gonna like everybody. That's stupid. Hope you're staying hydrated out there. Hydration is very important. It's good for your skin. Okay, so how I trigger people on I plant seeds. I get them to think in possibly ways that they have not thought of before. And when people see something for the first time like that, I mean, it's always fear. I mean, it's like, people are like taken back, I mean, it's always, fear is the go-to for so many people, like even with this whole ascension thing. I mean, all these people are like, they're talking about, like all these symptoms that they have. And yeah, there's days I can't even freaking hardly lift my arm up off the dog to pet him. But, you gotta, what are you gonna do? Pet a shorter dog. You don't have to lift your arm up as high. I got 5, so they're all sizes, so they're like my little ascension tools. Anyway, that was my tangent. I like those. They're fun for me. The whole point of all this stuff is, we want to grow. Spirits are boundless. Spirits aren't supposed to have boundaries. They're limitless. That's why people are, nothing's ever enough, it's like, if one day you're, you can't get a job, and then you get a job and you're in a cubicle and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world. I'm in this cubicle, I have my own phone. You're like, all this gratitude, all this stuff is great. And then you see a guy in an office over there, and then you start thinking about how you don't have an office. How come he has an office? I want an office. Then you start adding all that freaking human 3D crap, entitlement, and all that jazz. And then you start filling it with stuff. And then you start filling it because you don't feel good about yourself on the inside, so you got to do the 3D life. And then it falls short. We are designed. Anybody ever hear that saying? We are not spiritual. We are human beings living a spiritual existence, not spiritual whatever. You all know what I'm talking about. There's dragonflies everywhere too. As long as they like to land on me. It tickles. Dragonfly kisses. So, Jen hates dragonflies. They're kind of fancy. Jen's my pal. We sort stuff out. She's taught me a lot. This whole stuff. She's the one that, yeah, she's taught me a lot of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, we're all designed to supposed to get. We're supposed to get better and grow and prosper. And there is a way that everybody can grow and prosper. And you don't even think about it. There's like so many homeless people, but what if there's freaking like food like growing in the space between sidewalks and streets? You know, what if there's just like apple trees everywhere and vegetables just like all over the place? You know, you walk up the street and grab a carrot if you're hungry. Could be like that. It could. People could go back to, you know, exchanging services. Stuff like that, but first, people got to get better. That stuff is never going to happen if people are staying in the same 3D mentality that they're in now. And to get out of that 3D mentality, you got to freaking do stuff that's uncomfortable. You know, I'm not talking about like going to school every day because, you know, there's a freaking state mandate that says that your children have to go to school and study this and take this test, which really won't measure anything. But that's cool. It'll keep them busy. It's hell. It's free freaking babysitting for 12 years, for Christ's sake. And then you get to secure your future by, you know, maybe going to debt forever for student loans. Because, you know, that's what spiritual beings are all about, student loans. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Jesus Christ, he said, you know what? Forget being a good person, rack up debt. Ain't that true, JC? Look, there's some noise. There's some sounds. It's funny, I communicate with a lot of people on the interwebs, and I hear a lot of sirens on their stuff too, so it's everywhere. I forgot. Having buttons. I'm lighter today. My spirit is lighter. I'm not feeling heavy like I did the last two, so this is what happens when I'm all light and fluffy, and it is a fucking beautiful day. I just talk, that's all. So, triggering is dissonance created when somebody's space doesn't match what they're trying to represent. That's when I get triggered. When someone's going, oh, it's so nice to meet you, and then I see them hug, and then on the hug, I happen to see they're rolling their eyes. I see that stuff a lot. It's weird. It's like all the stuff that people used to tell me growing up. It's like opposite world. Like, tell the truth. So I'm the only one that can be? What kind of chump am I? What kind of sucker am I? Yeah, I'll tell the truth. Nobody else is going to tell the truth to me, but I'll just be over here telling the truth. Chump. That's what's cool about all of this stuff, is that we don't have to live in fear anymore. Nope, you don't got to. If you want to, you're absolutely welcome to it. You want to keep, you know, people that tell me that they watch the news because they want to be informed. They want to be aware. Be aware of this. Things are changing all over the place at a very fast rate. Tune the crap out. Tune the crap out, tune the crap out, tune the crap out. Stop posting crap and sharing crap with your friends. Your friends don't want to see crap. It's true, they don't. Your friends want to see fluffy kittens, bears with their mamas. Panda bears are always good. Anything in nature, stuff like that, fuzzy things, stuff like that. They don't want to see how gross the world is. We know the world is gross. Stop sharing gross things with people that you love. It doesn't make sense. I'm on Facebook so I can communicate with my friends and family. So why don't I just inundate them with gross things and terrible events all day long? That's why you can modify your feed. You can adjust your point of view. It's cool. So, I'm about done. Because my flow just stopped. And when that happens, I gotta go. So, I'm going to do that now. Where am I at? Be a trigger. Don't be a trigger. Just get people to think. Don't be mean unless they're mean first. That's my rule. It's true. Because I'm not just a freaking jerk just for the sake of being a jerk. No. Never. That's not what light workers do. Light workers show you. Put light on things that need to be looked at. Is this thing on in there? Hello? Be well. You don't have to save the earth for the whole entire planet. Just save for one person a day. Just say you can save the earth for one person every day. You don't have to do it for everybody, just one